It was May 19th, 1780. Imagine waking up in New America, ready to start your day, but the sun just never shows up. We aren't talking about a heavy thunderstorm or a solar eclipse. We are talking about a darkness so absolute, so suffocating, that cows walked back to their barns to sleep at noon, and birds stopped singing mid-chirp. People were terrified. They lit candles in the middle of the day, huddled in their homes, and whispered that Judgment Day had finally arrived. But here is the detail that really makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. The darkness wasn't black. It had a strange copper-red hue to it. The sky looked like dried blood. There was a metallic tang in the air, a smell that didn't belong to nature. For centuries, history teachers have waved this off as smoke from distant forest fires. But be honest, does wood smoke turn the sky the color of rust? Does it create a darkness so thick you can't see your own hand in front of your face? Or was this event the atmospheric signature of something far more destructive? This is the day the sky went dark in America, and history never explained it. We need to take a serious look at the year 1780, because if you zoom in on the timeline, you'll realize that the 1780 darkness wasn't normal. And that's where questions begin. It wasn't just a weather anomaly, it was a glitch in the matrix. It was a turning point. 1 year, one event, and a chapter of history that vanished. Before 1780, if you unrolled a map of the world, it looked very different. Across the vast, freezing expanse of northern Asia, spanning from the Pacific all the way to the borders of Europe, lay a massive territory labeled Grande Tartarie, or Tartaria. It appears on French maps, British maps, and even in the first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica. It wasn't a wasteland of snow. It was depicted with major cities, complex river systems, and its own flag. Old maps knew something modern history refuses to explain, and that explanation might just be the key to unlocking our own past. And then, right around the time the American sky went copper black, the Tartaria hidden civilization begins to vanish. It doesn't disappear in a war that you read about in 10th grade history. It doesn't fall due to a recorded political collapse. It is simply erased. By 1850, the cartographers had redrawn the lines, absorbing this massive empire into Russia and China, dismissing the previous inhabitants as wandering nomadic tribes. But here is where the official narrative starts to crack under pressure. Something happened in 1780 that changed the world map forever. But you cannot erase a civilization that spans continents without leaving footprints. And these footprints, they are made of stone. Do me a favor. Mentally walk through the downtown of almost any major city in America. San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia, or even those quiet, smaller towns in the Midwest. You see them, don't you? Mysterious neoclassical buildings America has seemingly always possessed. Massive structures built with granite blocks weighing tons. We call them state capitals, post offices, and federal banks. We are told they were built in the mid-1800s by settlers who arrived in horse-drawn wagons, people who were struggling just to survive the winter, let alone cut granite with laser precision. Why do American cities have buildings that don't fit their timeline? We are expected to believe that a population recovering from the Civil War, often lacking electricity, power tools, or heavy machinery, constructed buildings that rival the Roman Empire in complexity and scale. They tell us these architectural marvels were thrown up in 2 or 3 years. Yet when we look for the construction photos, they are strangely missing. We have photos of the guys in top hats cutting ribbons, but where are the photos of the foundations being dug? Where are the armies of masons required to carve those intricate marble statues? History calls it a coincidence. The evidence says otherwise. We see the completed structures, magnificent and weathering the ages, standing amidst muddy roads and wooden shacks. These structures exist all over America, but their origin is uncomfortable. It forces us to ask the uncomfortable question: did we really build these? Or is the inherited architecture theory the only logical answer? This brings us to the concept of the inheritance era. The theory suggests that the period between 1780 and 1850 wasn't an era of construction, but an era of excavation. Before modern America, something else may have been here. Think about the Great Fires. It seems like every major city had one. The Great Chicago Fire, the fires in Seattle and Boston. They all conveniently destroyed records and old architecture. Fire is a very convenient way to destroy the old deeds, the old history, and the evidence of who was actually living in those houses before we showed up. And then there are the World's Fairs of the late 19th century. In Chicago, St. Louis, and San Francisco, vast temporary cities were erected almost overnight. They featured massive domed buildings, thousands of electric lights, and moving sidewalks. The official story is that these were made of plaster and hemp, built to be destroyed after the fair ended. But look at the photographs. Does that look like plaster to you? Or does it look like we are witnessing World's Fair hidden technology? Could these have been majestic, old world cities that were uncovered, celebrated for a summer, and then demolished because they didn't fit the narrative of a young, developing nation? This dark day event is missing from everything we're taught, and yet it connects all these dots. The dark day of 1780 may have been the catalyst. The physical manifestation of a reset event suppressed history has tried to hide. A cataclysm that wiped out or displaced the population of Tartaria, leaving their cities empty and silent. Tartaria's final hours. The dark day event they erased from history might have been marked by that copper sky. It wasn't smoke from a campfire. It was the dust settling from a war or a disaster we have been made to forget. This is the forbidden history of North America. It forces us to ask, what really happened before these maps were redrawn? You now possess a lens that you cannot unsee. The next time you pass a courthouse with 40-foot columns, or look at a map from the 1700s showing an ancient empire erased from maps, you won't just see stone and ink. You will see the remnants of a lost chapter of humanity. You are seeing the erased world history conspiracy unravel in real time. With the dark day of 1780 explained through this new perspective, you realize you are part of the few who are brave enough to question the origin story of our world. You've looked past the veil, and that makes you the keeper of a forgotten truth. Welcome to the archives of the forbidden. Welcome to dark history.